Village of Middleport is affecting the police department. Plus, a global aerospace company may face criminal charges. And this common hormone can help treat eye diseases. Newswatch starts right now. Good evening, I'm Shane Scalfaro. Welcome to Newswatch. The Village of Middleport is facing a financial crisis that will affect their local law enforcement. Newswatch reporter Donovan Varney is in studio with the latest.
Yeah, Shane, nearly a week after Middleport Mayor Ben Neese announced that they'd be laying off some of their police officers, Police Chief Monty Wood resigned. The Village Council held a special meeting last night to address some of the community's concerns. At a packed Middleport Village Council, Mayor Ben Neese is trying to reassure people that their village will be safe.
We should leave today knowing that we still have a police department. We still have 3 officers, and I hope we can be back on our feet, say by January or February. That's not a promise.
The village finds itself in a financial crisis after approving pay raises for the police department last year, based on bad calculations by the former fiscal officer. The increased payroll costs coupled with overtime costs drained the general fund. At one point, there was only just over $400 left. The situation has forced layoffs in the police department, leaving only 3 full-time officers. People are worried about public safety.
I just don't know how this town is going to survive with 3 officers when they're going to stay in the jail unless they consider it an emergency call.
In the meantime, the Meigs County Sheriff's Office will be assisting Middleport by responding to non-emergency calls.
Just because you live in the Village of Middleport doesn't mean that you don't deserve the same police protection as people that live outside of the jurisdiction. So we're doing everything in our power to provide that service to you.
Yvonne Scally says she's lived in Middleport for almost all of her life and is ready to step up to help keep her village safe.
I just talked with the mayor. We will get a neighborhood watch started. And the druggies will know the presence. We'll have the signs in the yard.
While the community steps up, village officials say the current situation is only temporary.
We are recovering already. We're only about a week or 2 into it, but it is happening.
The village plans to bring the police department back to full force once the general fund has recovered. Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Donovan Varney, live in studio.
The National Transportation Safety Board says the vent and burn of dangerous chemicals after the derailment of a train in East Palestine did not need to happen. That is among the findings and recommendations the board released today. Among those, the NTSB recommends the state of Ohio mandate additional training to volunteer firefighters. It also urged national firefighter groups to inform members of what happened in East Palestine. The recommendations also include new policies to improve communications among railroads, shippers, contractors, and first responders, and expanding use of in-cab audio and video recordings on trains. Recommendations made by NTSB are not binding, but U.S. lawmakers can push for these changes.
Taking a first look at weather for tonight, we're going to be seeing all across the United States that heat bubble that we were dealing with just last week has now moved a lot more south. But here in southeast Ohio, we're looking a lot cooler. You can see Athens currently 83, a lot cooler than we were having than last week. Lancaster 81, Huntington 85. We're going to be looking out at this radar. We're going to be seeing that we are having that rain chance just a little bit earlier. That gave us some rain, some precipitation, but those clouds really came in, and now we're going to be looking clear for just a little bit longer until tonight. Just as we get a little bit closer to Athens at about that 2 o'clock hour, that's whenever we had that rain. But now we're looking at this clearing, and going into tonight, we might see that rain once again. We're going to be seeing currently out there 83, those clear skies. Those are going to be not quite continuing into tonight, where we're going to have that 60% chance of showers. That overnight low of 67, it is going to be a little bit cooler, and we're going to be feeling a lot of that humidity from just having that chance of rain in those cloud cover that we are experiencing today. Tomorrow, we're going to have that 100% chance of showers. Then looking into the rest of the week, we're going to be dealing with some mostly sunny skies. We're going to be having just a little bit of that cool down that we've been needing here in Southeast Ohio. But then looking to Friday, we're looking at some more warmer temperatures to round out the rest of the week. Let's take it back over to Shane.
Thanks, Isabel. A Guernsey County man will be serving at least 16.5 years in prison for the murder of his girlfriend. 33-year-old Dalton John Leach was sentenced in court yesterday morning. 55-year-old Maureen Ramey was shot dead in her Quaker City home on March 15th this year. Ramey and Leach were living together at the time when Leach shot her in the back, killing her. Guernsey County Officer's Office says Leach pleaded guilty to first-degree murder and grand theft of a motor vehicle of the 4th degree. Leach is in custody of the Guernsey County Sheriff's Office. A new high-tech facility with the goal of stopping gun violence is opening in Cleveland. Crime gun intelligence centers are designed as centralized law enforcement hubs focusing on investigating and preventing gun violence in local communities. The Cleveland Center will be one of about 60 operating across the country. 30 agencies are participating and have access to the technology. U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland says the centers intend to centralize experts and get violent crimes off the streets sooner.
No one in this country should have to live in fear of gun violence. No family and no community should have to grieve the loss of their loved ones to senseless violence. That is why we are here today.
Last summer, shootings in Cleveland were so prevalent that city officials begged for the state for help. The governor sent in state troopers to work with county authorities and federal marshals. Across the country, the U.S. Surgeon General is now declaring gun violence an urgent public health crisis. In a new adversity released today, Dr. Vivek Morthy demanded more action to stop firearm violence. In 2022 alone, more than 48,000 people in the U.S. died from firearm-related injuries, according to provisional data. And while mass shootings make up about 1% of gun deaths, Morthy notes that number is rising. Morthy is calling for more gun laws, including requirements for safe and secure firearm storage, a ban on assault weapons, and universal background checks. Two new House bills look to create a more aggressive eviction process in hopes of cracking down on squatters. House Bills 478 and 480 would allow owners to immediately request that law enforcement remove unauthorized people from residential properties under certain conditions. The bills would also expand the terms for criminal mischief and create a title fraud charge. Both bills are still being heard in the Criminal Justice Committee. Coming up, this aerospace giant may be facing criminal charges, and major tech companies will have to pay heavy fines.
We've been dealing with that rain today. When are you going to need that umbrella tomorrow? Next on Newswatch.
I'm an environmental educator. I have a degree in wildlife biology. I teach kids about nature and animals and wildlife.
What we're trying to do is make the outdoors accessible.
What is it like to be a person of color here in Denver?
The crowd will tighten up just if you bring up being a person of color.
And then they put their guns on the table.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's a fish! That's a fish! Oh, we got one.
Friday at 10 on WOUB.
Fasten your seatbelt.
This is amazing. Oh, no!
Wow.
Did you vote? It feels like I have a home.
These are your immigrant ancestors.
This is wild.
Never anticipated this.
I am forever changed.
I'm pleased to tell you you're going to be finding your roots.
Are we really this close?
I can't tell you what we found, but what we found was you.
This is you on the cusp of your next chapter.
It's a passageway into something new.
It just seeps into you.
It's a groundbreaking moment.
We can make it ours.
We're coming out hot. We're starting here. It's definitely going to be a treat for their palate.
What a story.
She had the imagination of a genius.
Each time I go up there, it's the sense of newness.
3, 2, 1!
Showtime.
We're all running.
It's beautiful.
Cherish every moment.
continue to laugh.
We hope you'll join us.
There is no going back.
It's time for a new beginning.
Federal prosecutors say Boeing should face criminal charges. They're formally recommending the Justice Department pursue prosecution. Meanwhile, families of people who died in Boeing's 2018 and 19 crashes are taking new legal action of their own. Amy Kiley has the update.
You have to hold them accountable in order to make a safety culture.
Federal prosecutors are asking the Justice Department to criminally prosecute Boeing as families of crash victims take their own action in court. In a motion yesterday, they ask a federal judge to appoint an independent monitor for Boeing. It's a renewed request in light of recent safety concerns.
What we've been asking for the whole time is for no third crash.
Meanwhile, pressure is growing for the DOJ to file criminal charges against Boeing. Federal prosecutors are recommending that step for alleged 737 MAX safety issues.
The company always says, you know, all our products meet or exceed all safety standards. That's not true.
This whistleblower says he thinks prosecution is the right call.
There was several individuals that made very conscious decisions. They knew what they were doing. They knew they were taking risks.
The Justice Department is still deciding about charges, according to a source familiar with the matter. Its own investigation is ongoing, but the department does say Boeing likely violated terms of a deferred prosecution agreement from 2021. Boeing denies that and says it's improving its approaches to company culture and safety.
We understand the gravity, and we're committed to moving forward with transparency and accountability.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
While Boeing deals with legal issues, Airbus is cutting its target for how many planes it expects to produce this year and next. The aerospace giant expects to deliver about 770 jets this year, down from its previous target of about 800. It's the latest bad news for airlines and passengers as the squeeze continues for aircraft supply. The tighter than expected supply of passenger jets is forcing airlines to adjust their expansion plans as they deal with record demand for air travel. Air travelers could find fewer available seats and fares higher than expected. The U.S. State Department is opening 6 new passport agencies in 6 major cities, including Cincinnati. In addition to the Cincinnati facility, others will be located in Charlotte, Kansas City, Orlando, Salt Lake City, and San Antonio. The State Department did not list addresses or opening dates. The new agencies will bring the total number to 35. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said the new facilities will assist with, quote, urgent travel needs. The news comes after the State Department began testing an updated online passport renewal program earlier this month.
Taking a look out there, we're going to be seeing over these past 24 hours, we had this high pressure system over us. We got a little bit of this rain we're having from this low pressure system, kind of give us a little blimp of some rain looking at about that 2 o'clock hour. Until very recently, we just got out of that chance of rain. And now we're going to be seeing that chance of rain hit us once again looking at tomorrow. Currently out there, Athens 83, as we go a little bit more north, they are a little bit chillier. Newark 80, Zanesville 81, Huntington a little bit warmer than us at 85, but we are going to start cooling down looking at tonight. Tonight, that overnight low of 67, that 60% chance of showers. That's going to be continuing into the rest of tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to be having that chance of rain pretty much scattered throughout the day. We'll be seeing on our XRAD that we have this system that is over parts of Illinois and Indiana right now. It was giving them some pretty severe thunderstorm warnings, and that is very likely to be happening to us into tomorrow. We're going to be seeing that convective outlook for tomorrow. Athens, we are in that slight risk of that isolated thunderstorms and showers. We have a little bit of a chance for some pretty high winds, some chance for that hail, and some chance for that lightning combined with some of that rain that we're going to be having. That is just on that slight risk. Any kind of rain that we're going to be having tomorrow will have that chance of some lightning, some thunder with it. We're going to be seeing that 100% chance of showers all throughout tomorrow. we're going to be seeing that hitting us at about that overnight, that past midnight hour, early tomorrow morning, then kind of leveling off whenever you're having that morning commute. There is still that chance of rain, about that 50% chance in your morning commute. And then once we hit that midday, about this time tomorrow, we do have that a little bit higher of a chance of some rain. Combined with that temperature high of 88, it's going to be humid whenever you're not feeling those sprinkles out there. Tomorrow morning during that commute, we are going to be a little bit on that clear side. This is for early tomorrow. Looking at tomorrow night, that is whenever it's going to be making the sweep over us, giving us that chance from about that midday to about this time tomorrow with that chance of rain. And then looking at after that, we're going to be having that chance of rain kind of linger throughout our system, but it is going to be looking a lot clearer once we hit that Thursday day. But looking at this weekend, we do have that once again chance for some more thunderstorms in our forecast. Tomorrow, that 100% chance of showers, you'll definitely want to keep that umbrella with you all throughout the day. We are going to be cooling down once we're looking at Thursday with that temperature high only reaching 83. Then Friday and Saturday, we're going to be back in those 90s. After Saturday, we are going to be slightly cooling down throughout looking at the rest of this week. Then once we're looking at this time next week, we're going to be looking very similar today, just a little bit more clouds for your forecast. Let's take it back over to Shane.
Thanks, Isabel. Several high-profile music tour cancellations have sparked speculation about the future of concert touring. The industry saw a major boom following the COVID-19 lockdown. As Lee Waldman explains, those days could be coming to an end.
These cases indicate that some arena tours are not selling that well.
After a series of surprising tour cancellations, freelance journalist Zach Schoenfeld believes the post-pandemic touring bubble has burst.
People were really eager to get back to seeing live music, and as a result of that, prices for everything went up.
That rise in ticket prices could be one factor keeping audiences away, and it's not just concerts. A recent survey by KPMG found more consumers plan to spend less this summer on things like restaurants, travel, and entertainment. John Rosen, an adjunct professor of economics at the University of New Haven, says it could be the end of what economists called revenge spending.
By 2023, everybody was pretty comfortable it was over. Everybody had a lot of pent-up spending, and they spent it.
While big-name artists like Beyonce and Taylor Swift have had successful world tours, less popular artists aren't finding the same level of demand. Schoenfeld says it's on the artists and their team now to reassess how to best take on this new era of touring.
Artists and their agents and their representatives, need to be savvy about finding the right size venue, and sometimes it's not an arena.
In New York, I'm Lee Waldman reporting.
Apple could face a hefty fine for allegedly breaking Europe's new digital competition rules. European Union regulators have accused the tech company of preventing app developers from freely directing consumers to cheaper services. If found guilty, Apple could pay up to 10% of its $383 billion annual global revenue. The European Commission opened an investigation into Apple in March, right after the landmark Digital Markets Act went into effect. The act is meant to curb the power of big tech. Microsoft is also facing a hefty fine from EU. They are being accused of breaking antitrust laws. Regulators say Microsoft bundling the product Teams with its other popular applications for businesses stifles competition. The investigation started almost a year ago after Slack, the cloud-based internal messaging app, filed a complaint. If confirmed, Microsoft could pay a penalty of up to 10% of its $211 billion annual global revenue. Tesla's futuristic-looking Cybertruck is being issued its 4th national recall notice. The electric vehicle maker says this time more than 24,000 trucks are affected. Nearly 12,000 Cybertrucks have a faulty windshield wiper, which may not work when it's raining. Another roughly 12,000 vehicles have a problem with the truck bed. Regulators say the trim sail applique was not properly attached in some models and may fall off while the vehicle is in motion. Still ahead, a popular sweet treat brand is making recalls. And for the latest from Newswatch, follow us on X, formerly Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.
I want my children and grandchildren to have a good place to live.
When we're out there burning, it's a way to maintain balance.
Dans ma propre vision, moi je me dis que c'est quelque chose de possible.
I want to leave a worthy legacy. With restoration of the land comes restoration of the people.
Wednesday at 8 on WOUB.
I think it's really important for us to grow food in a sustainable, useful, and exciting way.
You know, who in their right mind would raise saltwater shrimp in the state of Minnesota? Now look at them all. Holy, just look at...
So this is the power of science.
Kelp makes a good base for a lot of things that you should be eating. It's beautiful.
Oh, hello. I'm Martha.
Wednesday at 9 on WOUB.
We are entertainers first. That's my stage.
There were some anger issues.
You cannot be serious!
If you say sex god, I hope I was popular for my tennis.
She made women believe that they are equal to men.
Tennis was absolutely massive.
Regardless of your stage of life, whether you're starting your first job, getting the keys to a new home, or enjoying retirement, it's never too early or too late to create an estate plan to care for loved ones and support the causes that are meaningful to you. WOUB Public Media is pleased to have partnered with Giving Dogs, a free resource for building an estate plan that fits your needs and protects the people and causes you care about. Visit WOUB.org and click the Support tab to get started today.
A Maryland-based food maker is recalling multiple ice cream products over a potential risk of listeria contamination. The Totally Cool products are sold nationwide under 13 name brands. These include Friendly's, Hershey's, Jenny's, LaSalle, Chipwich, and Cumberland Farms. Those with the recalled product can return it to where they bought it for a full refund. You can find complete product information on the recall on the FDA's website. They're commonly used to improve sleep, but a new study suggests melatonin supplements may help a person with more than just getting a good night's rest. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither explains how researchers believe it may also help prevent a common eye disease.
In older adults, it's the most common cause of severe loss of eyesight. Age-related macular degeneration, or AMD, blurs your central vision.
It's one of the most devastating conditions up there with a diagnosis of cancer or even a heart attack. Losing your sight and losing your central vision really is imperative to many patients and keeping their overall mental status stable.
Ophthalmologist Dr. Rishi Singh with Cleveland Clinic says right now antioxidant vitamins are mostly used to prevent AMD, but it doesn't always stop the progression of the disease. So he and other researchers started studying the potential benefits of a supplement commonly used to improve sleep.
We've learned that melatonin obviously has some really potent antioxidant effects and also has some benefits in regards to pigment within the retina.
The study followed more than 121,000 patients ages 50 and above with no history of AMD and found taking melatonin was linked to a reduced risk of developing the eye disease. And in more than 66,000 patients who already had a slow progressing form of AMD, the study found melatonin takers were less likely to progress to severe stages of the disease when compared to those who didn't take the supplement. While more clinical research needs to be done, Singh says patients at increased risk of AMD should talk to a doctor.
This is a very valuable, I think, conversation to have with your eye doctor to determine if it's right for you.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Dr. Singh says the next steps for the study will be to start a clinical trial with patients who receive melatonin versus those who do not, and further research progression of the disease and retinal issues. With new concerns about the possible spread of bird flu, several federal health agencies are launching a new round of tests on dairy workers and milk products. They hope to better understand the possible impact of H5N1 bird flu. That includes finding out whether workers exposed to infected cattle had become sick themselves. The FDA will also conduct tests to determine if a method called flash pasteurization helps neutralize exposure to bird flu in milk. Since March, 120 herds across 12 states have tested positive for bird flu. Still ahead, don't stop them now. This legendary group has sold the rights to their music catalog. But first, here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
For more than 70 years, WOUB Public Media has been the place where people in our region turn to learn how stories of the past ignite the imagination of the future. It's where information, entertainment, and education work together to inform, enlighten, and inspire generations. It's the place where the community gathers to hear and see our world in new and innovative ways. WOUB, the public media you trust that's worthy of your support.
President Joe Biden.
What is the risk in 2020 for our freedom, our very democracy?
Former President Donald Trump.
We're going to make America great again, and we're going to do it fast.
The candidates face off on the economy, the wars in Ukraine and the Middle East, and the future of the country. A PBS News simulcast with analysis of the CNN presidential debate, Thursday, June 27th at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central.
Let's start at the beginning, shall we? I can't wait.
Back in the game, bringing the thunder. I'm making waves.
People will be watching your every move. I can handle it. Let's go.
So, what's your secret?
Things are starting to move in the right direction.
I'm coming.
Tell us everything.
Are you ready for more? Just getting started. Locked on the target. Are you ready for more?
No one is going to tell me who I can or can't be. Troubles, honey, like you wouldn't believe. Hop in. Every day, I see the evidence of all that love can do.
Whatever happens, we'll be together.
There's nowhere else in the world I'd rather be. This was perfect.
Finally tonight, legendary supergroup Queen has agreed to sell its catalog and a number of other rights to Sony Music. The price, a whopping $1.27 billion. Queen's music catalog is considered one of the most valuable from the rock era, with classic hits like Bohemian Rhapsody, We Will Rock You, and We Are the Champions. The band formed in 1970 in London and went on to become one of the most successful groups in the world. Lead singer Freddie Mercury died in 1991 from complications related to AIDS. However, decades later, the group's music still receives extensive airplay. You know, even though Freddie's gone and everything that's happened since then, I mean, their music's still so good and has such an impact on today's world.
I feel like I'm still listening to their music. I know whenever, not that long ago, I've been to a Queen concert, obviously without Freddie, but with Adam Lambert, and their songs are so classic. I feel like that is a pretty hefty price tag, but it's worth it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. For that music,
anything. Well, let's take a final look out there for Athens weather. We're going to be seeing currently it is 83, those clear skies. Those clear skies are going to be making their way out with that 60% chance of showers that are going to be happening at about that past 11 o'clock hour into that early AM that we're going to be seeing that chance of showers with that low of 67. Our outlook for those thunderstorms today, that is what it was looking like. We were just in those general storm areas. But for tomorrow, we are in that slight risk for some thunderstorms combined with that 100% chance of showers. So anytime it is raining, we're going to have those pop-up showers here and there all throughout the day. So definitely keep that umbrella with you. But anytime we are going to be having those showers, there is that chance for some lightning, some thunder, and some pretty serious wind. Looking into the rest of the week, that chance of showers is going to be going away once we're looking at Thursday and Friday. And the next time we're going to be seeing some showers is this weekend. So definitely stick back with us to see if you're going to need that umbrella for your weekend.
And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. For Isabel Esco, I'm Shane Scalfaro. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at woub.org or follow us on social media. Have a great night.